Hey guys! If you couldn't tell, I got a haircut. My hair's a little shorter on the sides, a little poofier on the top. And so today I'm going to be doing a video about kind of like my whole life, just so you can get to know a little bit about me. So, I was born in Cedar City, Utah. I don't remember a lot from my childhood. Don't know why, I kind of just don't. My family includes my mom, my dad, the oldest sister named Hannah, the next sister named Emma, and then the one right above me named Tim, and then I'm the youngest. So I grew up in the LDS church, and one day she was like, so Dad's gonna stop going to church for a little bit, and then it turned into Dad's gonna go sleep at his friend's house for a little bit, then it was Dad's gonna move out of the house, and then it was we're getting a divorce. I don't know why it took them so long to just be like, hey, we're getting a divorce, like from the get-go, but I don't know, that's just how things went. But yeah, so that's what happened. I know the lights changed. I thought that just this was better, and I thought that I should change it in the middle of the video. I was born in 2004, and they got a divorce in 2010. I was 6. So, after that, after my dad moved out, my sisters started to stay with my dad, and me and my brother and my mom, obviously, we moved into a townhome. And so we lived there for not that long, and my dad decided to move to California, and because he had a great job opportunity. So we lived in that townhome for just a little bit, and then around when I was 7, we moved to California so we could be closer to my dad. And then also my parents are still best friends. They were best friends. They only got a divorce because my dad's gay, so yeah. So we lived in California, and we lived in this 2-bedroom house with 6 people. We had a lot of people in this small ass house. So we, what happened, my sisters shared a room, my mom and dad shared a room, and then me and my brother slept on the couches. So we lived there for maybe like a year, and then my dad decided to move to Riverside, California, which, if you don't know, is about an hour away from Redlands. So if we wanted to go visit him, or if he wanted to come visit us, it would be a commute. And then we moved out of this house that we were living in, and we moved into this apartment complex, and we lived there for the rest of the time that we were in California. Sorry if these are moving a lot. My head keeps touching it. You can see it through my hair. I got sidetracked. So one day, my mom came home crying, and she had a pretty good paying job, but she just came home, and I was like, Mom, what's wrong? And she just said, we can't live here anymore, because if you don't know this, California is extremely expensive just to live, just to get by. And so because like I care about her and I didn't want her to be crying or sad, I was like, okay, let's go now, like let us go, let us leave. Like, I don't want you to like go through this, I don't want you to do this, so let's go now. So then we moved back to Utah. We did not move back to Cedar City though, because if you don't know Utah, Cedar City is a shithole. So yeah. So we had to go and live with my aunt for a little bit because, I don't know, we had just moved there. Where else are we supposed to go? She didn't already get a place before we went there, so. Stay with my aunt in West Jordan. And if you don't know Utah, West Jordan isn't really the place we wanted to live. We wanted to live closer to the city, not in West Jordan. So yeah, we definitely didn't want to live there, so we only stayed there for a couple months so we could actually settle down somewhere. So, after living in West Jordan for a little bit, we moved to this great place in Sugar House. And again, if you don't know, it's kind of around Salt Lake City. Well, it's considered Salt Lake City. And we loved this place in Sugar House. It was great. It was super close to the school, walking distance, super close. And it was just a great place to be. But, one night, Emma decides to, I don't know, make something that is very greasy, and she doesn't clean it up, so there's grease all over one of the stovetops. And then in the morning, my Hannah goes upstairs and she puts a kettle full of water, obviously, on the stove. And she turns it on and she goes downstairs to do something. I think she did her makeup, whatever. So, and then 5 minutes pass by, maybe. She goes upstairs and she sees that she turned on the wrong burner. She turned on the burner with the grease on it. And if you don't know what that does, it creates a grease fire. And she didn't know what to do. So she was like, oh, it's fire. I'll put some water on it. You're not supposed to put water on a grease fire. So she splashes the water on the fire and it gets bigger. At this moment, my dad was visiting us and my mom wasn't home. She was on a coffee date with her friend. So Hannah goes to my dad's room and she's like, Dad, wake the fuck up, like there's a fucking fire. And then he gets up, he starts getting everyone out of the house, and so this is how my room was. My like room door was right here, and if you open my door, the first thing you see is the kitchen. So it was like room, kitchen. And the first thing you see in the kitchen when you open my door, is the stove. So I hear yelling, and I think my dad is like mad at someone, so I'm just like, so I like open my door to see what's happening. So I open my door, and the first thing I see is the fire. So to the left of my door is the front door, like the front door to our house. So I book the fuck out. I fucking book it. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be burned down today. No, honey, not today. So yeah, and the fire was in 2014. So then obviously we called the fire department. But before the fire department gets here, thankfully my dad finds the fire extinguisher and puts out the fire. So the fire department still comes and just like checks the house to see if it's good. And they're like, oh yeah, you're good. So they say we're good to go back in the house and live in it and stuff like that. But there's one small flaw with that. The first thing that happens when you walk into the house after the fire is that the smoke from the fire makes you feel sick, like automatically. Like imagine like getting a cold, but instantaneously. Like it doesn't creep up on you, doesn't come on slowly, instantaneously. So yeah, you feel really sick when you inhale these fumes. So we're like, someone lied to us. We cannot live in this house because there's a fucking fire. Like what else are what else are we supposed to do? So we obviously can't live in this house anymore. So the summer of 2014, we are couch hopping at family members' houses because all of my family lives in Utah. I don't know why. It's probably because most of them are Mormon. Oh yeah, by the way, in California, I stopped going to church, and I currently don't go to church anymore, and I'm glad I made that decision. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah. So yeah. And then we were done with couch hopping, so we stayed in this hotel for about like 2 months for the majority of my summer. So I couldn't have friends come over or anything like that, or have sleepovers at my house because I was living in a hotel, so I had nothing else to do. So after we've lived in this hotel for a while, we find a place to live, but it's in Sandy. And the part that we lived in Sandy was technically West Jordan. And if you don't remember from earlier in this story, we didn't want to live in West Jordan. So, but we had to live there because Sugar House, especially during the summer, is really hard to find a place to live. And so, yeah, that's all I have to say. So we lived in this place we didn't want to live. So we lived in this place we didn't want to live for a while. And then maybe like a year or so later, about October 2016, we moved here, and it was and is a great place to live. We absolutely love living here. My mom never wants to move again unless she finds a good place to buy, because the only place she's ever bought was the place that I was born in. So yeah, it was just fantastic. And so yeah, it is just fantastic. And there's nothing much else to report. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, I doubt you did. I don't think anyone is watching this video. I don't know who I'm talking to because no one is gonna watch my videos, but thank you for watching if you did, or I'm talking to myself at this point. So, hey Jack, thanks for watching. I hope you had a great time watching this video, and see you next Wednesday. Bye.